Hello, guys and gals. Me, Moodheart. No. Whenever I do a creepypasta now, I just feel like doing that. So last time we read about Legends of the Hidden Temple creepypasta. It was a lost episode. Uh, and then before that, it was Dragon Ball Z Vegeta's Revenge, which was absolutely hilarious. But now it's Stick Stickly. You guys remember Stick Stickly? I remember. And for people who don't,
Nana's here, that's Nick in the afternoon. Hello, hi, Mom. We got new pics, you dips, and lots more stuff from you. Me. No, we got Nick. Yeah. And celebrities too, huh? We're in the studio. On the go, all around. Dance, whoa, figure down. Jolly do, yes, just for you. It's time of every day. Hey, 'cause you never know when it's gonna go in the afternoon. Noon. Hey!
so that was Stick Stickly with Nick in the Afternoon. It was really cool. You know, as you can see, it's just a little popsicle stick with some googly eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And then he was like the host in the afternoon. He would, spin the wheel, and whatever it landed on, that's what was already, that's what would play. A lot of times it was Doug, or it could be Ariel Monsters, Guts, you name it. Whatever was on Nickelodeon, it was okay. Play it. It was really cool. But here we've got Stick Stickly Creepypasta. Stick Stickly may be one of the least creative characters ever made, but he still holds a very special place in the hearts of 90s children for his several years of hosting Nick in the Afternoon. He is. Again, he's just a popsicle stick with eyes, a nose, and a mouth. I mean, compared to what Nickelodeon was capable of, yeah, it was fairly simple, but he had charm. It was like Face, with Nick Jr. It was just a face. Burp, burp, burp. He was just Face, but yet he had so much charm and character. So most information on Stickly says he hosted Nickelodeon Summer's afternoon block from 1995 to 1998, but I always swore that I remembered seeing him on TV earlier than that. No, it was 1995. I thought I was crazy for quite a while, but recently I found a small fan site for Stick Stickly that mentions him hosting a 1993 afternoon block show during the school year called Afternoon Snack. Oh no. Afternoon Snack with Stick Stickly. To my joy, the website even had videos of Stickly's segments. I watched one marked first ever Stick Stickly appearance. I swear, if this thing cries hyper-realistic blood, I am going to punch something. Stick Stickly was in front of a chalkboard with Afternoon Snack written on it in normal writing. His design was a little different. His eyes were smaller. And he had no nose. His mouth was a straight line instead of being a curve with a smile. He made a couple of corny jokes, then said Rugrats was coming up. This video ended at that point. I watched the next one. There were 6 of them, and none had dates, but I could also assume they were in chronological order. The second one was called Stick Gets Injured. Stick Stickly had the same face from the first video, but his body segments were a little worn. There were a few splinters sticking out of his side. His full dialogue was, "Well, the dog next door buried me, but I managed to get it. They don't the show you all voted for to see. Hey dude, it's up next. And don't forget to send in your postcards to vote for your special guest show you want to see. And remember, the address is," and then he does this little, Stick Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108. That, write to me, Stick Stickly, P.O. Box 963. That one, yeah. I'm sorry, 90s kid, grew up watching Stick Stickly and Nick in the Afternoon. He sang the classic song about writing to him, yep, but the tune was it was much slower. After he finished, he just stood there motionless for a few minutes before the video ended. Write to me, Stick Stickly. And he was crying. He was crying hyper-realistic blood. The third was called Hang Stick. Stick Stickly was hanging in the air by a piece of string tied around his waist. A little boy who looked about 5 was also there, and the chalkboard had 6 dashes on it, representing a 6-letter hangman word. The kid was guessing letters. Each time he got it wrong, the string around Stick's waist would move higher. Well, I mean, he's a stick, so the game would be over once it reached Stick's neck. The kid kept guessing letters. When the rope was one incorrect guess from Stick's neck. The letters filled in were candle. It was obvious what the word was. Oh, C-A-N-D, yeah, candle. But the kid wasn't taking the game too very seriously. Giggling, he guessed X. The rope tightened on Stick's neck, and his eyes flashed out of existence and were replaced by 2 X's. There was no sound for about 30 seconds. The kid just stared at Stick's body. Then Stick's eyes flashed back to normal and he laughed. Said he was fine. And that Wild and Crazy, oh god, Wild and Crazy Kids. Oh, that show was great. Wild and Crazy Kids was on next. Does anyone else remember Wild and Crazy Kids?
Welcome to Wild and Crazy Kids! The show that goes anywhere and does anything to find kids having fun. With your hosts, Jessica Gaines, Omar Goody, and Donnie Jeffcoat.
Wild and Crazy Kids. I know, I'm really pulling the memories out for you guys, huh? Sorry about that. Wild and Crazy Kids was on next. The 4th video was called Stick Quits. Stick was ranting about something that presumably happened in a segment that the site didn't have video of, saying no one respected him, that he was treated like a toothpick, how his father was a mighty ship, and that the dog kept burying him. The complaints seemed like jokes, but his tone was more serious than you'd expect. A little kid then appeared, not the same as in video 3, and told Stick that all the children loved him. Stick was silent for quite a while, and sighed, and said he would stay. He reminded us to vote in the guest show contest again, and said it was time for Rugrats. The 5th video was marked Stick Gets Mad, no sound. The description said it. It was silent. Stick was moving quickly, very quickly, with body language. Well, that means, so he was like, so every time, normally he would, like, when he was talking, actually, hang on, where's just a visual of what I'm talking about. Okay, just a pencil. So normally he'd be like, oh yeah, Stickly here. Oh yeah, it's time for Nick in the afternoon. But then when he got angry, he was like, oh, and he was like all over the place. So that was his angry. Oh, he was all over the place. Normally he was just like, oh yeah. Oh wow, look, there's a giant dog and it's coming right to me. Oh, I hope he doesn't bury me again. Ah! But then when he was mad, he's like, oh, I'm so angry about this. So that's kind of what he means by the way he was moving. If people don't know Stickly, that's kind of how, because he was a popsicle stick. So he was just talking and talking, and he would like turn around and move his to the side, and it's normal. And then when he got angry, he would move up a little bit and get a little more animated when it comes to the movements of whoever was doing that with him. But yeah, indicated his body language indicating he was yelling. A little girl was cowering from him, clearly afraid. The girl eventually left and Stick just faced the screen. His animation was so simple that I couldn't tell if he was talking. The 6th video was called The Winner Revealed. Stick had a dark red stain on top of his head, and one of his eyes was an X. He made no mention of his appearance and announced that the votes were in. It was time for the special guest to show to air. What guest to show air? Oh, guest show to air. His last bit of dialogue. It's been a long contest, and the vote was close, but you, the kids, have decided. Coming right now, the classic vote you voted for, Candle Cove, which is also a reference to another creepypasta. Candle Cove. Hey, look, there's Stick. Stickly on Nick in the afternoon. Write to me, Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108. But yeah, Stickly. You guys remember Stickly? I certainly do. That little Nick in the afternoon comes up, that pops into my head just randomly, and it was a simple character, but he had a lot of character. Even though he was just a popsicle stick with beady eyes, a clay-looking nose, and a little tiny noodle mouth. But he had a lot of personality. Like I said, it's like with Face, you know, Nick Jr. Face. He had a lot of personality. Despite that, he didn't have any real body. He was a face. But yeah, Nick in the afternoon, memorable for me. One of the best things about growing up was coming home and after school, Nick in the afternoon, and seeing what was playing. Like I said, most of the time it was Doug, which was boring. But sometimes we might get lucky. It might have been Rocko's Modern Life or Our Real Monsters, and most of the time it was Doug. Yeah, that was the Stickly creepypasta. And let me know if you guys remember Stickly. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.